Hi, Brother Asa here. Before I begin, or before the video switches over to an audio recording that I did previously, I thought I'd take a minute and explain to you a little bit about who I am and how these audios come about. Well, first of all, I'm, as like everyone else on this planet, we or all of us are two in one. We are both a carbon-based vehicle for use in a 3D environment for experiencing what goes on here and to enable us to experience emotions and feelings. In addition to that carbon-based vehicle, which has a history of its own from the time it was born into a family here until now, I am also, or you are too, a consciousness that is far superior or far different from the physical body and the mind and the brain and all of that stuff. It is the physical user of this carbon-based vehicle. It is what uses this vehicle to gain those experiences. So when I talk about who I am, I really have to talk about two aspects of my existence in the third dimensional realm. What I am in the third dimensional realm is a physical body and a brain and those kinds of things that has a history where I was born to a set of parents, and throughout my life I've been guided and directed, even when I was not aware of it, to achieve where I am today. If I was to list some of the things that I have done during that lifetime, that physical period in which I have used this physical vehicle, it would include such things as being a master hypnotist and a hypnotherapist and a master NLP practitioner and so on and so forth, and the list would go on and on and on. But in reality, all I would be doing is relating to you those things that my guides and guardians have nudged me and encouraged me and basically directed me into, not without my own free will, of course, but arranging for these things to come into my perspective and my awareness, and to basically have encouraged it through making it easy for it to come about. So those things are all designed with the physical. But what I will share with you is the non-physical. That portion of me that is a consciousness that is a bit of the oversoul to which I belong. And that oversoul, of course, belongs to the greater of the infinite mind, which is the Creator himself, or itself. This portion of the consciousness that directs and guides this body has a history as well. I'm not aware of a lot of the history, but I have been blessed enough for my guides and guardians to reveal to me in various ways some of the history of the consciousness that I am, the I am that I am. This consciousness is a starseed and a galactic being that volunteered to come back into incarnation onto this planet. Yes, I entered this planet some 60 plus years ago under a contract to be here at this time to assist and facilitate the times that we're going through, the transitioning from a three-dimensional planet to a fourth-dimensional planet. I'm here to help awaken and teach the things that need to be known to prepare yourself to go from the third dimension to the fourth dimension. It is a program which you would have to get into through dedication, perseverance, and diligence to be able to prepare to stay with the planet if that is your desire. But getting back to my consciousness, I do know that this consciousness has had many lives, some of which were here on this planet, extending back as far as Lemuria and even Atlantis. Throughout many of those lifetimes, I have been a teacher, and that's what I am again this time around, in many facets, both in the physical and now in the leaning towards the spiritual master teaching. So that's what I have also done. Majority of my lifetimes have been within the Pleiadian system. Of course, our star here on in this solar ring is part of the Pleiadian system, so that's not saying a lot. But I have been on other planets within the Pleiadian system, even to the point of having at times been part of the diplomatic corps. So I have been around. I am a starseed and I am a galactic being, and I am back here to do this, running the risk that everyone runs of being stuck in 3D and not having awakened enough to get out. I feel like I have done so, but I'm not sure, because of course the veil is not completely lifted from me yet, and until it is completely lifted I will not know in its entirety whether I am on the path to achieve a sufficient growth to be able to move on with the planet into a fourth dimensional existence. The audio recordings that you're going to be hearing coming up, and I think I'll repeat this video again in front of the next one. I have two of them that I'll be posting here in a very short time frame. The audio recordings that I've done on these two is they were recorded on a digital recorder at a time when I was preoccupied doing other things, which allowed basically a flow through of thoughts and ideas to be brought up in my head, and for me to speak these things out. So I am passing through knowledge that is being fed through me for your use. So that's what you're going to hear, and you might hear in the beginning of the recording sometimes a little stumbling and a little ahs and oohs and a lot of that in the beginning. But then suddenly you'll see it smooth out and begin to roll right along, which is not unusual for the way I bring stuff through. I do have a group that I work with that are celestial and interstellar beings. I call them my CIC, my Celestial Interstellar Collective. They find it humorous that I always put labels on things. So I just wanted you to have some idea who I am and why I'm coming forth with this information at this time. I look like you, I talk like you, I have a physical body. It has the same attributes that your physical body does. The same ups and downs, the same diseasements and discomforts that you would experience. So I'm no different in that aspect than you are. The only difference that I have is that, like many of you, I'm here for a purpose, and that purpose is a higher one that relates to the highest and the best good of the all. It is the all that I am truly in service to through way of the Creator. So I'm in service to the Creator to do what is for the highest and best good for the all. So for now, I'm going to leave you with those thoughts, and I'm going to go ahead and allow this to shift on into what will be the audio recording for this one. Not sure what the title will be. I'll decide on that after I get done with the editing. So there you go. That's what we're going to have. So please listen to the recording, and if you are interested in anything you hear on it and would like to follow up on it, have questions or anything else, you can always contact me through my through not my website. I might be the one that's put it together, but it's not my website. It's a website for anyone who wants to be a light worker and to realize that light workers will have to unify in resistance again against the dark side at some point, that you definitely had to step out. So if you have any questions, you can contact me directly through the website www.lightworkersunified.org. So now the audio recording. being in a carbon-based container or using a carbon-based container in this environment is difficult, because the carbon-based container, of course, has its own biases towards what it does. The effects of hormones and chemicals provides the atmosphere to create emotions and feelings. And feelings are actually the manifestations of what could be called emotions. We have an emotion called anger, and really what we're describing when we call it an emotion is a series of feelings triggered by your hormones and your chemicals and within the body. And that is a physical reaction, and physical reactions, of course, can be through a process of knowledge and learning, can be learned to be controlled. Just as you can learn to control any other thing at will, you can learn to control the emotions and reactions that your body produces to certain stimuli. And those stimuli, of course, can be considered to be events, or a combination of stimuli together can be considered an event. And that event, of course, will then trigger a reaction in your body. And this reaction in your body, of course, is what we call feelings. Your face gets flush, all those kinds of things. You get your heart races, your adrenaline goes up, which means that you go into a fight-flight type arrangement. So all of that can be controlled. And the secret to mastering your emotions or mastering your feelings is the ability to be aware of them to begin with. By bringing them into the conscious forefront, because all of this stuff is triggered through an automatic reaction or through a non-thinking reaction or a non-conscious reaction of the body. And from there it goes on into developing all kinds of emotions, but the mastery of them is based on your awareness, becoming aware of them. And within the book I'm reading at the moment, the DNA and the Sands of Time, I see instantly that through the Akashic Record, or derived from the Akashic Record, there are a series of programs that they refer to, or exercises, if you would, or ways to become aware of your emotions and to control them. So those programs or exercises, if you will, that gives you in the book itself are awareness exercises. And a connection exercise and a connection ability. It connects you through your conscious self. And when I use the term conscious self, I'm referring to that bit of you, that fragment of your oversoul, that is the user of, or the utilizer of, that carbon-based container that is, or the carbon-based extension, or however you would like to look at it, that is used to experience the emotions and feelings that are associated with a 3D or a third density environment immersion. You can, as only a spiritual consciousness, a conscious energy, there is no way to advantageously take control or take or benefit from the attributes of third density. It's from a consciousness form. We cannot energy form. It would do us no good to be here in that form. Because if we were here in that form, then it would be just like it would be at any other level of learning. We don't get to see or master the ability to control the incoming stimuli into us. So here on this planet, through the use of a carbon-based container on this planet, now it may be different on other planets, but for this particular planet, we use a carbon-based container that has been configured for the energetic development of the material from which it is formed. It is like growing a crystal or creating a computer. There has to be a plan, a formulated structure, if you would, in which the program or the computer or the crystal is to be formed. We have an idea or a blueprint, if you would, of how this thing is to be created and what its attributes and capabilities are to be. In the sense of a carbon-based container, the carbon-based container information is contained within the DNA. The DNA contains everything that is needed as from a blueprint perspective to create the body that I'm using right now to communicate to this tape recorder or this digital recorder. So once we get the carbon-based container and we understand that the DNA is what controls the structure of it, there had to be a consciousness, an intelligent energy consciousness, or a consciousness associated with an intelligent energy, or an intelligent consciousness associated with an energy that created the original DNA. That DNA did not come about randomly by happenstance. It's just not possible. I don't care what our science says. You cannot possibly think that the remotest probabilities of DNA being able to come out of nowhere is what's possible. Alteration of existing stuff of the universe to create something else? Possibly. Because we know from what our physical laws here on this planet says, our physics laws, that we neither can create nor destroy matter. Neither create nor destroy energy. We can alter its form, but we cannot create it nor can we destroy it. So everything that exists is made from things that we cannot neither create nor destroy. The building blocks of everything begins there. Structuring those building blocks into something as complex as a blueprint for this body through the use of something called DNA is, to me, a far cry from an acceptance of the fact that it was done by random happenstance. But this body was then created with the sole purpose and with the sole ability to facilitate the environment through which evolving conscious cells, that bit of your oversoul that is conscious, intelligent energy, to facilitate its ability to master concepts such as the ability to be able to control the reaction to incoming stimuli. In the higher dimensions, first of all, you would not have the same level and the same type of stimuli coming in. So you would not be able to experience the same kind of experiences at higher levels of existence when you're existing as energy, as pure energy, or light bodies, if you would. You would not have the ability to experience the same things. It's only in the lowest of densities through which an intelligence can interact fully with communicating abilities with others of its own kind. And the experiment will be honed over and over again to tweak it, to give it just that right twist, to increase the level of complexity of stimuli coming in, to increase the complexity of the reactiveness of the physical container, the carbon-based container. That is the purpose of the previous age. That is what we're ending now on this planet. We're ending the age where carbon-based containers were being used to learn the mastery of the reactions to stimuli coming into the carbon-based container. In other words, we're ending the phase where the lesson is to learn how to master our emotions and feelings. You cannot move into a light body situation. You cannot move up to the next level until you have mastered this level, which is the mastery of your emotions and feelings. The only way you can master your emotions and feelings is not through your soul energies, your soul efforts. The only way you can master your feelings is through getting a direct connection to Creator. Through Creator's graces, with Creator's efforts and assistance, you can and will be able to master your emotions and your feelings. But here's where the rub comes. We are now in the year of 2012. And the latter portions of it. We are now in July. As I'm speaking this, we're in July of 2012. There will come a time as we approach the end of this age, the time which I cannot tell you where it is, but I can tell you from intuitiveness and through the input of my guides and advisors, that time is coming very quickly. It should come within the next 12 to 18 months, which means it should come by the end of 2013 at the latest, if not before. And the time we're talking about coming is the closing of a window of opportunity where the energies of the planet will have evolved, where the existence of the planet itself will have evolved, where it will become extremely uncomfortable for those who are not well on their way to mastering their emotions and feelings. When that window closes, there will be no opportunity, or the opportunity will not exist for those who have not made the decision to move to the fourth dimension, to move to the creation, toward the creation of a light body. Once that window closes, those who are left that have not made the sufficient progress to master their emotions and feelings and begin to create the light body will have to evacuate the planet and move on to continuing the lessons on a different planet that is designed for this level of existence. For those who have reached a skill level great enough and high enough toward mastery of their emotions and feelings, will be able to remain on this planet and continue the work towards the light body. Out of those, some percentage of those will still fail to be able to reach the level of light body, to be able to still stay with the planet beyond a certain point, even in the future. Eventually, what we will have on the planet is those who are in light bodies who will be able to fully engage into a fourth dimensional existence. This is predicated upon the closing of the current age, the Age of Iron, as it was referred to in several of the ancient writings, ancient wisdom writings. So into the golden age we will move. And I will explain to you in a moment, or I will explain to you now, why it is such a great need for you to make the decision to do the work. And do not get me wrong. If you truly think yourself to be a light worker, if you truly think yourself to be one of those who is here to help in this transition, if you think yourself to be one of those who are working towards reascending back to where you came from, you need to understand it is not going to be given to you on a platter. It's not like a plane trip where somebody will give you a ticket and you will board the plane of ascension. If you're truly a starseed light worker, if you're truly a starseed galactic being, then you must understand, to fully awaken, to fully grasp your capabilities, you must do the work. You have to do the work to reawaken what it is that you have that allowed you to ascend to begin with. We all made the agreement to come here. We all made the agreement to assist in this process. We came here at great risk to our own spiritual growth. For if we cannot truly and fully reawaken to who we are, what our capabilities are, what we need to do while we're here, what we need to do to be able to ascend, what we need to do for those of us who may be going home, and I'll explain that in a moment. If we cannot do these things, we will have put ourselves back into the cycle of relearning and re-achieving that which we have achieved before. It is neither right nor wrong. It is what it is, and it is through the divine plan that we will participate. If we do not fulfill our contract totally, if we cannot fully reawaken to who and what we are, if we cannot fully reawaken our capabilities, then we need to go back. And we need to go back to school. We need to relearn. Because only if we have that sufficient spiritual growth to be able to achieve these things can we go forward into the future. So the point of the entire talk is that we as galactic starseeds, we as galactic beings, we as light worker starseeds, we as walk-ins, we as transitioners, we as all of the incoming greatness that all of the universe has to offer, that agreed and volunteered to come here. If we cannot reawaken what we are, then we have not achieved the level of spiritual growth that we should achieve. It is a true test of where you truly are on your spiritual ladder. You will be given every opportunity to choose to do what it takes to do to reawaken all of those things. It is up to you whether you want to become so mired in third density, so attached to the drama, so have such inability to detach from all that exists here that is but just 3D environmental stuff, if you would. If you choose to like that to the level you will not put in the effort, put in the dedication, put in the time, understand that what appears to be pain is not pain, what appears to be suffering is not suffering, but it is merely the inability to understand. For if you understand what it is you're going through, what it is that you are in deeply seated in, the events in which you participate, are but merely lessons of spirituality, reminders to reawaken, reminders of what you have to do to be able to re-achieve what you had before. If you cannot do that, then you need to not judge others. I judge you not. For you will be making the decision, consciously or unconsciously, that you need to make for your own spiritual health. If you can become aware of who and what you are, and you merely work on the process, you dedicate yourself to regaining that which you had before. Whether you master it totally here or not at this time isn't the point. The point is, if you dedicate your effort to it and you make sufficient progress, then you will fit within what is coming. If you cannot master those and you allow your emotions and your feelings to run your body, to run your consciousness, to run your reactions to the stimuli, then the world that needs to manifest cannot be manifested. It will take a superior level of non-reaction, non-ego-based reactions to what goes on. Just a little example that has no relevance to what will be coming in the future, but would have relevance to your conscious thoughts, your conscious mind. As it is now, your body probably would react somewhat adversely if someone said something that you did not like or you thought was an insult. You would react adversely. Whereas if you were a master of your emotions, a master of your feelings, you would not get a rise, as they call it. You wouldn't get a rise out of yourself because of something someone said. You would understand that the message that was being sent is that there is a lesson to be learned between the two of you. You cannot learn the lesson for the other person. You cannot even point to them and say, this is your lesson, here is what you need to learn. Only thing you can do is work upon your own inner self and realize that the words that person spoke were not directly intended to either hurt you, or if they were intended to hurt you, that you should be above reacting to mere words, regardless of how hurtful they are, or how meaningfulness you might give it. It is truly necessary that if you truly want to be part of the world that's coming, that you do so. The work that needs to be to make yourself prepared and ready to be part of that world. you really must begin to prepare yourself. If you do not prepare yourself, you can call yourself a light worker all day long. You can say you're a star seed all day long. But unless you manifest the characteristics of it, unless you can reawaken the spiritual aspects that star seed origins has attached to it, unless you can bring into daily use those capabilities, and unless you know what those capabilities are, how can you do that? So there's dedication and work to be done. If anyone who is listening to this message is interested in pursuing a path that can lead them to this nirvana, then I suggest that you visit the website www.lightworkersunified.org and you contact me, because I'm about to put together a series of webinars, training webinars, teaching webinars, if you would. Actually, it is teach, learn, teach webinars, in which I will impart to you some of the knowledge that you would need to be able to engage yourself in the productive pursuit of reawakening who you really are. And let me tell you, there are literally thousands of us on this planet, millions of us on this planet, and even more so, there is the abilities of even people who are not starseeds, who are needed to be able to do this. I also recommend to everyone out there, if you have any of the incoming indigos, crystals, or other individuals who are being born onto this planet, who is of the age who would understand or could understand or would be interested in learning this subject matter, I would suggest you bring them along too. So if you're really interested in wanting to do this, contact me, because coming up in a couple of months down the line, I'm going to begin some webinars. I'm going to open up my webinars to learning who you really are, to mastering what you need to master, to become the light body you need to become, to assist in the transition of the planet into the next stage, and become part of the caretaker team which will take this planet into its next level of existence. The repopulation of the planet with those of the capabilities necessary to fulfill the destiny of the planet, or the divine unfolding of the planet, which is to be a planet of light with schools of light, to be able to teach others what we have learned while proceeding through the third density existence. To learn what it feels like, to learn what it is to experience a separation from Creator. So remember, the website is www.lightworker.org. There will be a contact on the website. So when you click the contact, you can send me an email directly letting me know that you are interested in joining the webinars to make you better than you are, to make you what you need to become. So, until next time, this is Brother Asa, a galactic being starseed. Thank you. Peace, serenity, tranquility, and blessings. May the Creator be with you.